Good morning. There's a story in Scripture about a wealthy landowner who has a wonderful crop one year. People around him don't do as well. But after he hauls in this crop, he decides to build a second barn so that he can keep all of the crop and store it for himself. But what he doesn't know is that the night the barn is finished, he dies. And the moral of the story is, obviously, that he did not get to enjoy any of it. We are so like that. This story is terrific in its application in our own lives. Some of us were talking yesterday on Zoom, and one of my friends said that she was thinking about this very story because as she looked around her life and her home, she realized that so much of what she enjoyed and put stock in was stuff. That she had a lot of stuff in her life. And was realizing that just didn't feel right. She felt like she was putting her value and her security in things that were transitory. She didn't quite have a grasp on what she was reflecting, but it was profound for me, watching those wheels going and watching that awareness come to life. The challenge for us as human beings, I think, is that we put a lot of stock, we put a lot of value in what is outside of ourselves. We find our security in what is outside of ourselves. We find our self-image on what's outside of ourselves, on what other people tell us, on what they project onto us. And what God seems to be telling us, what Scripture tells us through this story, is that accumulating possessions might ultimately result in being possessed by what we accumulate. That the attachment that we have to these things in an effort to feel safe and to feel a sense of satisfaction of the way we've lived our life can often be of detriment to our heart and to our soul. The more we attach to the stuff we see in our homes, to that new car that would show people how we've arrived, to a job that pays a lot of money and therefore we go up in social standing, the circles we keep, the friends we have, the places we go for vacation. The more we attach to those things, the harder it is to attach what is true security. True security is not on the outside. No matter how much we accumulate, we will never feel totally secure, because then we'll feel anxious about losing all the stuff we've acquired. True security comes from the inside. It's on the inside. In religious life, you take a vow of poverty. No, you don't get awards for that, all right? I'm not saying like, hooray, let's get a trophy for taking a vow of poverty. But what it teaches you, or what it tries to teach you, is that there are certain things you want in life and certain things you need in life. And the vow of poverty strips it down to what you really need. What do you need to be happy? So we need not fear about losing all the things we have, especially in a pandemic with an economic downturn. There's a worry. Will my lifestyle be different? Will the things that I typically surround myself with, will they go away? And will I feel devoid of all that gave me security in the past? The key here is to realize that of greatest value is within you already. You possess it. You may not be able to trail your finger over it the way you can a nice car, but you possess the security of greatest value. God has given that to you from the very start. We lose track of that. We put on different lenses. We see things differently. But God says the greatest security of all is that you are loved. Loved by a timeless, eternal being that will never turn its back on you, that will never rescind the gift of security and love, that's our security. Sometimes you see on TV hurricane victims and how they're shattered, their homes, there's nothing left. We lost everything. And then there's another person that will say, yes, but we have each other. We haven't lost that. So today I think we're invited to reflect on what do we possess and how does it possess us? Can we let go of the attachment we have to things and not fear, not be afraid? Because ultimately God is with you always. The eternal is eternally yours. And if we can pitch our tent on that truth, then we know that we are wealthy, rich, safe, secure forever.